Welp, I'm about 220 quid down, but I have things. I've been at Severn Valley today. It was just me and my dad. I was going to go with a friend, but he had to cancel last minute due to personal concerns. I've bought things. So I bought from Hampton Loade, which is what's in here. And then in here is a mix of things from Bewdley and Kidderminster. So, well, let's get into it. First things first, I have another double carriage. This is a Stania restaurant carriage, I believe. Just have a look. It doesn't specify that it's a Stania, but I believe it is because it matches my other two. I bought it to match with the Stania composite and the Stania brake I have. So I've got a little double rake of carriages. If I just wedge this in the middle, and we should be right as rain. They have a nice little tin plate train. It's going to look really nice behind my double Duchess. Right, onto the locos now. I finally got a castle. This here is the Wren re-release of the Hornby Double Castle. I've been after a double castle for a while, and in fact I do still have the castle that the guy from the Model Railway Club sent me, but that needs a motor rewind, so I'll need to get that sorted at some point. But I no longer need to pester him and ask him how much he wants for it, because I have one on my own now. I'm going to need to clean up the copper cap because that has oxidised. Aside from that though, it runs and I think it just needs warming up. Though I think that tender chassis, if I just run that over the points. Oh, now that it's on camera, it takes them like a champ. Oh, no it doesn't. It doesn't go backwards. So this might be outside line only, where there's literally only one shallow radius curve. Which is literally just this point here. But I need to get the wiring sorted first, but this may well be a model which is just stuck on the outside line. But a model I'm happy to have nonetheless. It's also my second Wren model. My first is the re-release of the 00R1. I've got another loco. It's a quick one. Triang Caledonian single. I now have both of the singles, so I don't need to hunt around for this. This one I bought from Footplate Models of Kidderminster. It was £47.50 if I recall correctly. I've already forgotten. But it's still a much better deal I would have ever gotten on eBay. It runs, and it runs pretty well. I'm going to need to do some work on it. The front is chipped, and it's missing one of the grab irons on the back. But aside from that, it's in all right condition. It runs, that's the main thing. And, well, yeah, like I said, I've got both of the Triang singles now. Loco number 3, I believe. It's a fucking ropey runner, and I've got to do loads of work on it, but this is a Triang 3F, another model I've been after for a while. Another step closer to complete the Triang collection. Should be an easy one to get going again, but it is ropey as it is. It only cost me 20 quid from the Erlestoke Manor Trust. But regardless, another step closer to completing the Triang lineup. So, yeah, it'll really only take basic Triang servicing to get this running again. Yet another loco. A Gaiety Models, please tell me if I'm pronouncing that correctly, 5700. I wasn't exactly looking for this one, but I saw it at the Erlestoke Manor Trust's place at Bewdley, and I thought it looked interesting. I've seen these a lot on eBay, and the chassis on these must have been awful, because every listing I've seen has been re-chassied with either a Triang Ginty or a Hornby 00R1 chassis, which are very nice runners, and I would strongly recommend them for modifying locos. It does run really nicely, but what caught me is, well, it's a model someone has modified in the past. It's got a bit of a story to tell, and I love models like that. And in general, it's a weird looking thing. I do already have a 5700, the old Triang Hornby one, but this one, I don't know what it is about it, but I much prefer it. And now the last loco. This here is an LMS Precedent made from a kit. I'm unsure what kit. I believe it may be a ratio, because if I look underneath, the tender does say ratio. Though you can see that on the camera. It's fitted with an etched brass chassis with Romford wheels and a Mishima motor, and it only cost me 40 quid. It's actually still got the sticker there. And the Mishima motors themselves, I've seen them go for around 30. It's not big on my Triang curves, and I think that might be because the front axle doesn't swivel. It's just stuck in place. But it runs silky smooth. It's got a little flywheel in the cab, which if I rotate it again, there, you can see that. The Romford wheels I don't think were ever painted. I think they're still grey. I might sort them out myself. I don't know. Like I said, it doesn't much like my Triang track. If I just see, gets stuck there. The front wheels sort of jumped off. Might need a bit more lateral movement in the front bogie. But it's a really well-made kit. It runs silky smooth, and I'd love to know what these are worth on eBay. But with the fact it's got scale wheels, it might be a club-only loco. Regardless, it is a lovely little model, and I'm honestly quite happy I picked it up. So for 220 quid, what would you guys say? I personally think it was a decent deal for all of these, which is 5 locos and the Carriage. I think the Carriage may have been a bit steep because that was £15, but if you want the exact prices, 15, 70, 47.50, 30, 20, 40. At least that's what I remember them being. It hasn't even been a day and I've already forgotten. But for 220, what would you guys say? So they mentioned, but the Carriage and the Castle were both boxed. The Castle's on the Ringfield motor. Don't know if that makes it a rare or anything than the 1/2 inch. But yeah, I don't think I think I may have mentioned, but 3 at the front, the Precedent, the 3F, and the Pannier. These came from the Erlestoke Manor Trust at Bewdley. Lovely person running the stall this day, and I would strongly recommend that if you want some second-hand trains. I think they had a Hornby Dublo Deltic for £55, which compared to eBay, where it's like 200 quid, that's a steal. Footplate models at Kidderminster. This was £47.50. Really nice people there as well. Likewise with the people at Hampton Loade. I said 70 for the Castle and 15 for the Carriage. All the people who sold these were absolutely lovely, and I would strongly suggest checking them out if you're ever in the Kidderminster, Bewdley or Hampton Loade areas. Great, that's really all for today. Some of these may be the future of a future on the some of these may be the focus of a future on the workbench. So I hope you all have a brilliant day then. Right, that'll be all from me then. Bye-bye.